Hello, it's Jo here from Shalem Health Retreat. Who likes breakfast? Well, I have to confess, I need to put my hand up because breakfast is my favourite meal of the day. And today we're going to make for you a delicious breakfast. It's one of my favourites. It's called crunchy toasted muesli. And what we're doing is we're just going to start with a bowl of oats. So I have placed in here 8 cups of oats. Now, you don't have to make this quantity. You can actually halve the recipe. It does make a lot, but it does store for a long time in an airtight container. So I figure that while I've got everything out, I may as well make a lot of it because it's something that our family does go through a fair bit. And you will see why a bit later on when I've put everything together. I can guarantee you that this is a very delicious and nutritious and simple muesli to make. So we're starting off with 8 cups of oats, rolled oats. And next we're going to add some almonds. Now you can use any nut. You can use pecans, pistachios, you can use macadamias, walnuts, whatever you have to hand, or a combination. So I've got 2 cups of almonds here that I've just ground. Very slightly. You can still see there's some chunks in there. I don't want to ground it up until it's a meal, but just so it gets those almonds a little bit ground up, that's going to be easy on the digestion. With your nuts, make sure that they're raw, so not salted, not oven baked, but raw nuts are best. So we're just going to pop that into our oats and give it a mix. So this is our dry mix, and next, we want to show you how to make the wet mix. Now, the thing I love about this recipe, well, there are many things I love, but one of the things is that it has no added oil, no refined oil. So all of the oil that you're getting in this recipe is from the nut, from the almond, the pure nut. So it's best if we can have whole foods, not refined foods. So we're getting very healthy fats and oils with our whole nuts in there. Secondly, it doesn't have any added sugar. The sweetness that we're going to have when we make our wet mix is from dates. Now, if you can remember the number 2, then you will be doing very well for this recipe because we have 2 cups of dates that we're going to pop into the Thermomix, or if you have a food processor, you can put it in that. Next, we have 2 bananas. So the dates and the bananas are going to give us our sweetness. Again, whole foods. We don't need to go to sugar or other refined sweeteners. We can use the whole food as God has given us to make this recipe deliciously sweet. And next, we want to just add to that a cup of water. So that's going to be our wet mix, and we're just going to blend that up until it's nice and smooth. Right, so that's blended up. That's taken a couple of minutes to blend up for us. And I will just show you what that looks like. I can tell you that it smells delicious and it tastes even better. Okay. All right, so there's our blended up water, dates and banana. And we're just going to pour that now into our dry mix. So as you can see, this recipe is incredibly simple. It does keep well, as I said, in an airtight container. So it's something that you can make up and then have to hand for breakfast. Many people skip breakfast because they don't have time. Well, you have no excuse now with this recipe. You can make a lot of it ahead of time. And I tend to have it in the morning with a plant-based milk, like soy milk. You could have oat milk, almond milk on it. And I then have whatever seasonal fruit is available. At the moment, I'm enjoying some delicious apples, some pears chopped up on it. And I also add some extra nuts and seeds to it as well. All right, so what we're going to do now is just combine the oats and the wet mix. Now, rolled oats are a fantastic source of soluble fibre. And soluble fibre does an excellent job in our bodies of mopping up excess cholesterol. You might not be aware, but our bodies make all the cholesterol that we need. We don't need to ingest extra cholesterol through our diet, and plant foods contain no cholesterol. Animal products do, however, have a lot of cholesterol in them, and the body needs to get rid of that excess cholesterol, and that's sometimes when people experience high cholesterol, and sometimes they have to go on medication. But when we eat plant foods, whole plant foods, not only are we not getting cholesterol, but any excess that we do have is mopped up by soluble fibre, such as oats that we have here, and then it's excreted out through our stool. We don't then reabsorb it into our bloodstream. So if you do struggle with maintaining your cholesterol at a healthy level, then I would definitely recommend that you include rolled oats in your diet. Now, for those of you who are diabetic and you're concerned about the date content here with the sweetness, it is a whole food. You're not getting that spike that you would if you were to have refined sugars. You would get that spike. With whole foods, the glucose is released very slowly into the bloodstream, and so it's a very good recipe, this one, for diabetics as well. So lots of health benefits with this recipe. Okay, so that's completely combined now, and you can see it's forming into nice little chunks there. So the next thing we want to do is just pop it on a pan like this, on a cookie sheet, and we just simply spread it out nice and thinly. This would take 2 or 3 of these baking sheets, and then that's going to go into the oven on a very low temperature, only 120. We want to cook this on a low temperature for 45 minutes. And then what you want to do is get it out of the oven. It is going to be nice and crunchy on top, but it'll still be a bit wet underneath. And so once you've got it out of the oven after the 45 minutes, just break it up so that all of the wet mix underneath can cook. And then put it back into the oven for another 25 minutes. So that is our muesli there. And I'm going to show you one that I have already cooked. Here it is here. So this is now our dry muesli that's been in the oven and it's cooked up. We've cooled it and popped it in here. Now what I like to add to this muesli, this is just my base, is some pepitas. So we've got 2 cups of pepitas. Remember, I said if you can remember the number 2, you're doing well for this recipe. 2 cups of pepitas. Pepitas are a very good source of zinc, so make sure you add those to your diet. We have sunflower seeds, a rich source of vitamin E, another 2 cups of sunflower seeds. And we have some delicious shredded coconut. I love shredded coconut. That is going in there. I find the best shredded coconut is from Honest to Goodness. So that is an online shop. If you're in Australia, just Google Honest to Goodness, and I definitely can recommend their shredded coconut. Now, the next thing I'm going to add is dried apricots. Now, these might look a bit odd to you because they're not bright orange, but these apricots don't have, they haven't been treated with sulphur. So there are no sulfides in these apricots, just this is literally how they are, dehydrated, and then they're just packaged. And so these are the ones we want to get. They're sometimes a little bit difficult to get. I got these from Woolworths. If you're in Australia, Woolworths macro brand, but you can also get them from Honest to Goodness as well. So I would definitely recommend these. They're not as sweet, but they do have their own very unique flavour, which is very delicious, but like a caramel sort of flavour. So again, 2 cups of the dried apricots, which I've just diced into small pieces. Now you can add other things. You could add chia seeds, you could add sultanas, raisins, dried cranberries, whatever you like. Make it your own recipe. And we simply just want to mix all of that together. My mouth is already watering. And I can guarantee you that this will become a family favourite. It's full of goodness, deliciously crunchy, as its name suggests, crunchy toasted muesli. And once you've tried it, you definitely won't go back to the packet bought mueslis, which often contain added sugars. There are some out there that are very healthy, but they're also very pricey. So I would definitely recommend getting into the habit of making your own muesli, especially one like this that doesn't have the added oil or the added sugar. So there you go. Enjoy making your crunchy toasted muesli.